Nigerians are debating Governor Soludo's recent actions against pastors accused of staging fake miracles. In recent times, I think within the past week, he was seen arresting pastors that were accused of staging fake miracles. So far, right now in Anambra State, at least not less than 10 pastors have been arrested and arraigned in court for staging fake miracles. A lot of people have approached me with the question as to the legal implications of his actions, if he is actually infringing on the rights of residents of the state with respect to religion, freedom of religion, thought and conscience, and then questions as to if he is actually acting within the ambits of the law. And I have decided to address that in this video. So in this video, we're going to look at the legal implications of the actions of Governor Soludo in this regard. And I wouldn't want you to scroll past, because you need to watch this video to the end, because at the end of this video, we're going to talk about the remedies that are available to those pastors that have been arraigned so far or have been arrested so far in this regard. So please watch this video to the end, because it might not be useful to you now, or it might be useful to you, but it would be useful to you in future. So watch this video to the end so that you will know the remedies available. When we finish talking about if this action is he's acting within his rights, or he's actually acting ultra vires his powers as the governor of the state. And then we're going to also discuss remedies available to pastors so far who have been arrested. Please don't go away. We'll be right back. If you are yet to subscribe to this channel, kindly click the subscribe button. Please click the subscribe button, share this video to everyone you know will need it, and give us a thumbs up. That thumbs up is very important. It's more like a boost to us. So it's no news that Nigeria operates a federal system of government, which means that there is a federal character, which is at the federal level, the presidential level, and then there are states. And at both levels there are lawmaking organs, that make laws as contained in the 1999 Constitution. I don't want to go into that detail. I just want to state that as a state, the Anambra State government has the right to make laws for peace, order, and good government of the state, and to also make laws that protect its residents from fraud or any activity that will be harmful to them in any way. Now, the powers of the state, or the powers of Anambra State to make these laws, are not limited. It must be done in accordance with the provisions of the 1999 Constitution. And this means that in providing or making these laws, the rights of its residents should not be infringed upon in any way, as to rights, especially in this regard, rights to religion, section 38 of the 1999 Constitution, the right to religion, thought and good conscience, that should not be infringed upon. So the question that everyone should be asking in this instance is not whether the miracles are fake or not. No, that's not the question you should be asking. The question that you should be asking is the impact of these staged miracles, in quotes, the impact of these staged miracles on the residents of the state. Is it fraudulent? Is it making them fraudulently, or is it fraudulently making them to part with their property or their money? Is it defrauding the residents of the state in any way? Is it inducing them to do things that they wouldn't have ordinarily done? Are these so-called miracles against public policy? So these are the questions that you should be asking, because this is where the government of the state comes in to say that we do not want our citizens or residents within our state to now be defrauded in the name of staged miracles. We no longer want them to be defrauded. Therefore, any church or pastor we see staging miracles in any way and it is confirmed to be true, we would arrest that pastor, because there is a likelihood that you will now influence people to now begin to part with their properties, which they wouldn't have ordinarily done. That is where the crime of obtaining by false pretense comes up. You know that section 419 of the criminal code, obtaining by false pretense, is already a crime, that is punishable, and the state has the right under the relevant laws in Nigeria to punish any criminal within their state. So in this regard, if this is what Governor Soludo is doing, then he is acting within the ambits of the law. He's not acting ultra vires his powers. If this is what he is doing, then he's acting within the ambits of the law. But if what he is doing is to prevent residents of the state from either going to the church they want or freely practicing the religion that they want, then he would be said to be acting ultra vires his powers, in the sense that he is now depriving them from freedom, their freedom of religion. So when you place these two things side by side, find out, is he protecting the residents from fraud or from any criminal act, or is he preventing them from freely exercising their powers in terms of, or freely exercising their freedom in terms of religion? Because I actually listened to him today. The video will be playing here. You will see the video. I listened to him today, and with what he said in that video, I can tell that Governor Soludo is actually protecting the citizens within his state from any fraudulent activity, from being defrauded rather. He's protecting them from being defrauded. That's what I think, because from what he said that he has dealt with the native doctors that have been deceiving them. Now it is time to deal with fake pastors. He wants to make sure that people do not come in the guise of any of these things to defraud people of their property or their wealth or their belongings, which is what every state government should do. They should protect the lives and property of residents within their states. That is what the law provides. So this is exactly what he is doing. However, if any of the pastors, because it is not the duty of the court to decide on faith, any faith-based thing, whether it is fake miracle or not, it's not the duty. What the court will be deciding on is if it amounted to a criminal act. That's what the court will now begin to decide. And if you are found guilty, then you will be indicted in that regard. So if peradventure you are one of the pastors who have been arrested and finally you are found not guilty, then you can now bring an action against the governor of the state. Some people don't know that they can sue their state government. Yes, you can sue the state governor or the state government. You can bring an action for the infringement of your fundamental rights, or you can bring a civil action for malicious prosecution if you were arraigned and found not guilty. I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope I've finally addressed this issue and laid it to rest. If you found it helpful, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Thank you very much for having me, and enjoy the rest of your day.